you're sleeping right now. I was sitting down just now and I noticed I have something called a food baby. Okay, so I'm Catherine from grade 11 and I am fat. And no, it does not mean I'm beautiful because, look at me. Let me break it down to points. I am fat. Fat does not mean ugly. Fat means exactly what it means. I'm 165, so I call myself tall. I have a little brother, so I call myself a sister. I study in Jeremiah, so I call myself an IB student. I weigh 74 kilograms, so I call myself fat. I, an 11th grade student, am standing right here in the most brilliant people I know. I know most of you right here. And I'm confessing to you all that it is normal that I do have cellulites, stretch marks, muffin tops, love handles, whatever you want to call it. I do not have thigh gaps. And you know what? Every time I walk, my thighs stick to each other. It becomes icky and sticky, and at the end of the day, I always wonder what it feels like to have a thigh gap. Because of this, I started to avoid eating. I want you all to be honest with yourself right now. You don't even have to raise your hand, you just have to be honest with yourself. If you have ever skipped a meal, not because you were bored, not because you didn't want to have food, not because you didn't have money to buy food, not because that one sushi restaurant closed down and you really wanted sushi, but because the thought of being fat scares you, then nod with me and say I. Because, yes, I. You know what? In fact, we are not the only ones who skip meals because we want to lose weight. The scariest thing is, 31% of girls wanted to lose weight. Age 14 to 15. 31% of young girls. I know you're asking me, what about older girls? Oh, you know what? 60% of older girls wanted to lose weight in 2010, when it was only 50% 20 years ago. And 50% is still a huge amount. Is the media to be blamed for this? No. Society is. Look at her. Look at Marilyn Monroe. She's a 1950s legend. But if I were to shove her face in front of you right now, would you call her fat? No, because it would imply that she's not pretty. She's amazing. She is beautiful. Have you ever heard someone call the Mona Lisa fat? She was born in the Renaissance era. And you know what? The Renaissance era's ideal standard of beauty is being fat. Because being fat means that you're wealthy. People who does burlesque, people who watch burlesque, loves fat people. But nobody has ever called the burlesque company and be like, hey, I want you closed down because I don't like fat people. Internet models and magazine models had constantly over and over again tried to show before Photoshop and after Photoshop, taking photos from cameras that the angles that no cameras would ever take. Pictures that no camera would ever put in the cover of Vogue magazine. Society had created the ideal standards of beauty that are impossible to reach. Like, why is it that Indonesia has the standard of beauty of humble face and light tones and little to no makeup? Well, India prefers bold colors, bold lips, plump lips, and everything else in between. But the ideal standard of non-beauty always had to be fat. Those three letters had to be ugly. F-A-T had to be the ideal standard of non-beauty. Everywhere I go, no matter I go to Pakistan, or no matter I go to Papua, or no matter I go to France, if I'm fat, I'm ugly. But if I go to them with their respective ideal standards of beauty, then I'm pretty. Why is it that fat is not accepted everywhere? And then just when you thought when this problem is over, that everyone would just not talk about it, and that society would just confirm to the that being fat means being ugly, it doesn't end there. Skipping meals, doing sudden vigorous exercises. Oh, I want to make a gym membership because someone just bullied me for being fat. I'm going to do 30 reps of a 20-mile run because I feel fat. Just when you think the problem ends there, it leads to mental breakdowns. That's the first step. And then mental illness. Do you know how depressing it is to not feel content about yourself? If you have ever tried to fit into those pairs of skinny jeans that you know will never fit, but you get in it anyways, but you feel uncomfortable, then you're a victim of this society. I would feel better in an XS clothing than in an XL clothing. Mental disease, like depression, leads to suicide. The analysis for mental health advancement states that the number of teenagers who believe that they are overweight are more likely to suffer from depression and kill themselves. I'm not calling this a fat epidemic, no. This is a thin epidemic. I would go into a restaurant with my friends, chilling, hanging out, and then the menu comes. Yeah, we're ordering something, and then, oh, it's a friend's birthday, so you know what? I'm gonna spend her money. And you know what? I'm gonna order big, fat, juicy steak, because I love myself. You know what she would order? Tall glasses of water over tall glasses of water, because water has 0 calories, right? Is that what healthy means? Is that what healthy is imposed to us overweight women? Is healthy liposuction and body augmentation and contouring because you want to feel skinny? Or is healthy balanced eating and balanced exercise? Is healthy measured by how content you feel about yourself? Or is healthy measured by the superficial things? I strive for a world where generations do not have to think about their physical things, where they're measured by how happy they are and how content they feel in their own body. Thank you.